Hi, my name is Evan Sadler, and I'm joined by Mr. Matthew VanBesien, President of the New York Philharmonic. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be here today.
My pleasure.
We at UMS in the University of Michigan are very much looking forward to the residency and partnership with the New York Philharmonic over the next 5 years. What are you most looking forward to in the process of working together in the months and years to come?
Well, we're really excited about this partnership with UMS and at the University of Michigan. It's a university and a setting that has played a large part in the New York Philharmonic's history. Mm-hmm. This is the first time that we've really collaborated with an institution of higher learning, if you will, mm-hmm. In this deep and meaningful a way. What we've found historically with UMS is that they're a fabulous presenter, arguably the greatest arts presenter stationed at a major university around today. And so the opportunity to collaborate, continue collaborating with them, but also in a formal university setting, I think is particularly exciting. And there's also something very special about the University of Michigan, and that's not easy for someone who graduated from Indiana to admit. It's not just an excellent school, but it really does have an environment that I think is conducive to this type of partnership and a real spirit of collaboration.
What are some of the most significant challenges that you face in leading and operating an orchestra in an age when musical accessibility and genres are constantly changing and evolving?
Right. So I think the basic fundamentals of what we do are simple and should be simple, and we should always be thinking about that. We're here to do several key things with regard to giving great performances, giving great educational programs, etc. I do think that the environment in which we do these things now is more complicated than it's been. Mm-hmm. Whether you're talking about the different behaviors and relationships with audiences, whether you're talking about the explosion of the digital sphere and that whole arena and what that means or can mean for orchestras longer term. And I also think for good reasons we have expanded our musical palette so that we're not so hidebound in the traditions that made us great. And that, of course, the balance of that is keeping that sense of tradition, but also being willing to expand the definitions of what, the types of music that orchestras can deliver, but also the way in which they can produce and present concerts.
Going along with that, how do you get people in the community and in their surrounding areas, how do you get them excited about classical music when they perhaps didn't have a musical education or they're not familiar with classical music?
So I think it boils down to not only what we do musically, but how we do it and how we think about delivering, if you will, the art form to audiences today. And that may mean subtle changes like just times of concerts and the duration of concerts and the way in which concerts are constructed, to actually branching out in terms of musical genres and doing more with film music and doing more with collaborating with artists from musical theater or with even within the commercial music realm. So it's going to be a combination of a bunch of different things. There's no single aspect of what we will do that will engage all the audiences that we want successfully. It's going to be sort of as I say, a multifaceted approach.
Mm-hmm. Kind of creating that balance between new and old and on the cutting edge. I think it's fascinating.
I think it's everything. I think it speaks to every single program that's created in every week, striking that balance just right, and also thinking about resources and time and energy of an organization. How much is spent protecting and nurturing, as you should, the historical tradition, but also being willing and courageous enough to push beyond that. Or sometimes you find actually that it's about the blending of the two, that it's actually taking the most traditional elements of what we do, but thinking and delivering them maybe in a different way. I think it's a great fallacy that people will say, well, in order to really engage young audiences, you have to program contemporary music. I mean, that's nonsense. I've
Yeah, it's
seen
not
young
true.
people become most energized in some ways about a Beethoven symphony cycle that they are getting to experience for the first time. That's not to say that that in combination, with works by Johnny Greenwood or some of the more cutting edge composers out there, can also be exciting, but it's not a hard and fast rule.
Well, thank you so much for being here. We
Sure.
are very much looking forward to the
As are
residency,
we.
and yes, it's gonna be a great time. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. Cheers.